Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. Our guest today is Preetam Cholli. Welcome to the studio, Preetam.
Thank you.
Preetam has recently participated in the Sewa International's internship program, which seemed quite an exciting thing to talk about, and that's why we invited him here in our studio today. And we would love to propagate the information and be able to share it with people out there who may be able to put it to some good use. So why don't you tell us something about the program?
Sure. So the program is called Yuva for Sewa, or Youth for Service. It's an internship that's offered by an international NGO called Sewa International. And what the internship offers is an opportunity for students who are undergrads or even graduate students to spend a summer working with NGOs that are doing grassroots work in India.
In India? Oh,
yes.
Wow, all the way in India.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's a 10-week program. And what it offers is a first-hand opportunity to go to India and understand what it means to actually contribute something meaningful on a grassroots level and explore what service means in a developing country setting.
So I know you went to somewhere around Pune.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other locations that you're aware of?
Yes, there are. The two key locations now are Pune and Bangalore.
Okay.
I also think that there is one in Gujarat also, but I'm not, it must be Hyderabad. It's in Hyderabad also.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you went twice. Let's talk about your first trip.
Okay.
What was the project like? Can you tell us exactly what your role was and how you contributed towards it?
Sure. So the project that I signed up for was a health awareness project for child health issues, specifically in slum communities in Pune.
Okay.
So I had no knowledge or exposure as to what the conditions in the slum communities were, what their needs were, what health issues they were facing.
Right.
It was more of a sense that you develop being an outsider and seeing pictures, or through my own personal encounters growing up on visits to India and seeing kids and families who were very underprivileged and underserved and not knowing even how to begin helping them.
Right.
So this was a very interesting and exciting opportunity, but also a fairly scary one because it was stepping into the unknown.
Yeah.
And the project that I signed up for was child health awareness issues. I went to Pune, and my specific role was to help a local NGO called Niramai.
Okay.
What they were doing was they were implementing a mobile vaccination program for kids in the slums.
Mm-hmm.
My job was to help evaluate how that program was going, offer recommendations for improving it, and also to start a health awareness campaign for these types of child health issues. So to identify what the problems were and come up with a way to spread a message that was easily understandable about how to improve child health.
So I'm assuming that Sewa International puts out a list of projects and people choose what they want to apply for. Is that how the process works?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So what was it that attracted you to this project? What was your motivation to apply?
Well, it was an opportunity to really see what the health situation was in the slums. And personally, I was trying to see what way I could serve best and throughout my life. And I felt that either a career in public health or a career in medicine would be valid options for me to do that. And this offered me an opportunity to get firsthand exposure into the nitty-gritty of what health and public health are in the developing world, in a developing country.
And were you scared? I think you did mention you were a little scared when you went there. And so what were the apprehensions in your mind, and how did you deal with them?
Well, the first thing is unfamiliarity.
Yeah.
Born and brought up in the U.S.
Well, did you? I'm going to interrupt though. Did you visit India before that, or was this like your first visit?
No, I had visited India before.
Okay.
But they were for family visits.
And this is so different, right?
Very, very different.
Yeah.
It's an entirely different side. The sole purpose of this visit was to do this service project.
Right.
It wasn't to visit family. It wasn't to go to different tourist sites, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, sure.
So the biggest fear was I didn't really know what I was getting into. and I didn't know what I'd actually be able to contribute.
Yeah.
The project sounded like something that I could do, but when it comes down to it, how well do I know the people that I'm going to be interacting with in the slums?
Right.
And can I establish a connection of trust with them?
Yeah.
I don't speak the local language, so
that
how
can
am I
be a
supposed
barrier,
to
yeah?
overcome that?
Yeah.
So there were a lot of those things. And overall, how do I get on the bus to the slum? Just these logistical things that I'd never have to worry about over here.
Correct. Getting all that information.
Yeah.
So. Okay, wow. And how did you deal with that, though? I mean, once you stepped in, what was your reaction? And tell us more about how it felt to be there.
Yeah, it was exciting also. It wasn't
Really?
only fearful.
Yeah.
And I think channeling that excitement
Yeah.
or putting the fear along with the excitement and letting that drive you rather than being bogged down by, I don't know how to take the first step.
Correct.
Thankfully, the local NGOs did facilitate the transition in the first week, getting us used to our surroundings,
Sure.
and introducing us to people in the slums who they were affiliated with, so that we did have contacts when we needed to visit. And also there were other volunteers who were there with me. And being there as a part of a group rather than just isolated, it does make a big difference.
Now, of course, the idea of doing this is to add meaning to your own life as well as make it a meaningful experience for others as well. So did you feel that it was something that was worth all the effort and all the trouble that you went through?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
These types of experiences, they really push you to grow as a person.
Yeah.
And you meet boundaries you never knew you had, and you overcome them in ways you never knew you could.
Really?
Yeah. And the way that you are able to somehow build relationships with people in spite of a language barrier, you're able to make a difference, not in a necessarily big way. I think.
But every little bit adds up eventually.
Every little bit adds up. But again, it's understanding what change means in the world that we're interacting with and within ourselves. And how to work in a way that change is facilitated in both ways. And to also understand that you can't necessarily go and change everything in a set of 10 weeks. We can make a difference or contribute to something meaningful. And the nature of these types of opportunities is no matter what you do, I think you always end up coming back having taken more than what you've given.
Really?
No matter how much you try to give, somehow you always end up taking back.
Experience that stays with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That is really interesting because it's important to have that amount of personal growth and that opportunity to be able to do that, because we do talk about a lot of theoretical philosophies, especially Vivekananda, and people who we can learn from and their lives. And I think Sewa International definitely follows that philosophy and tries to propagate that as well. So to be able to actually go in to the grassroots level and be able to feel that energy and to be able to do it and bring it back with you, I think it's absolutely I'm sure it was a memorable experience for you.
Yeah, exactly. And doing it isn't nearly as easy as thinking about doing it.
I'm sure. And that's what experience is.
Yep.
Okay, great. And it was obviously good enough that you wanted to go back again, and you did. So tell us more about the second trip.
Yeah, I think after I came back, after those 10 weeks, I had a taste of what real-world issues were in a very intimate way.
Yeah.
And then going back to school, the transition back to coursework and stuff, it was an adjustment, to say the least.
Yeah.
And
did you feel privileged after coming back?
Oh, absolutely. The only reason why students like me can go is because we're privileged to do so.
As in, you had seen the other side of the world, and coming here and knowing that you have a life which is a little bit better than what most people would have.
Yeah.
Did you feel that?
That's certainly a part of it. That's certainly a part of it. But also knowing that we are in a privileged position, being
I think
students.
that's a great point too. Yeah, to be able to go there.
To be able to go there to begin with.
That's a great point too.
Yeah. So that was.
Okay. So your second trip was a year long?
About a year.
And did you go to the same place?
I did go to the same place.
Okay.
Yes. After I finished those 10 weeks, I wanted to. It's hard to plant seeds that last a very long time, over 10 weeks only. So I saw some issues that I wanted to address more richly, and I felt it would be a good thing to go back to India to explore, again, what it means to make more lasting change.
So this whole 1 year that you spent in India, was that part of your education here as well? Were you able to collaborate or incorporate it into your graduation program? Or
No.
not at all? This was in addition to that?
This was in addition to it.
Okay.
There are ways of integrating.
Okay.
There are certain international scholarships and programs and
Yeah,
things that
sure.
require a host organization for you to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the Sewa network can facilitate that for sure.
Okay.
But the second time I went, it was just mostly on my own.
Okay.
And it was just after college. I just wanted to take some time to do it.
Yeah. And with that 1 whole year of experience added to your life, I'm sure it's very, very special to you. Have you documented that anywhere? I mean, have you preserved it besides your own memory?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, it's always valuable to write and reflect.
Yeah.
But I didn't have too much of an opportunity while I was there.
Okay.
And I didn't really, I don't think I valued it as much as I do in retrospect.
Really? Yeah.
But
do you have pictures? You must have pictures though, right?
A few.
A
few
few?
pictures.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too many.
Yeah.
But I think that writing about it afterwards, I mean, applying for jobs or
You've
schools,
put in that
you have
segments of it.
You have
Yeah,
to put
of
segments
course.
of it in.
Of course.
And I think when you sit down and you have to write it, that's when you realize how much it meant to you.
Right. Now, speaking of jobs and applications, did this, of course, there's this personal development aspect of you as a person when you do something like this, but did it also add weight to the applications that you applied, the colleges that you applied for?
Yeah, absolutely. I think any sort of experience like this adds tremendous weight to it. Whether we should do it for that reason is a different issue.
Right.
But
The intention should be more to add meaning.
Exactly.
The meaningfulness of it is definitely essential.
Yeah. But also the thing is that you get what you put into it.
Okay.
You can go for X number of months or a year, and if you aren't proactive about your experience, if you aren't willing to take risks to step out of your comfort zone, be creative in addressing problems,
Correct.
and being flexible and accommodating to the way that the real world circumstances are
Yeah.
constantly moving and shifting,
Right.
you're not going to get much out of it. And
Right.
it'll just be a photo that you keep on your bookshelf, you know?
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's an opportunity. It's definitely an opportunity, and it should be taken as one in the sense of make the most of it.
Yes.
You know. And to summarize it all, I think Sewa International has a wonderful program. They will be opening up applications pretty soon on their website. And we definitely encourage all of the students going to college and interested in it should apply for it and see how that goes, because I think it's a great opportunity to be able to really live something like that.
Yeah, yeah, and it really, it's something that pushes you. It's something that exposes you to the world in a way that you might not have been exposed to it before. And it also allows you to push your interests into a stage that's unfamiliar and grapple with them that way. I did health projects, but they have engineering, microfinance.
Oh, they do have, okay.
Yeah, education is a big one. So
Wow,
whatever your interests
wow.
are, there is scope for integrating them in the work that you're doing over there. And I think there's a lot of merit to drawing your passions out in a developing setting.
That's excellent. That's a great opportunity, definitely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experiences today.
Yes, no problem. And if anybody has any questions, you can feel free to reach out to the Sewa International Facebook page or to anybody in the Sewa network. I'm sure we'll be able to put some contact information.
Yeah, we'll be able to do that,
Okay.
definitely. And once the applications are up, we'll be happy to share that link as well.
Yes.
So. All right, great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.